Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's had a great weekend. Today our lesson is on two-step equations, but before we dive right into the lesson, we will review on last week one-step equations. So in example 1, x plus 10 equals 15. Who can tell me what the variable is? Sarah, x. That is correct. X is the variable. And in order to get the variable by itself, you must do a order of operations called inverse operations, which simply means you do the opposite of what is being done in the original equation. So what would y'all do to 10?
You would subtract 10
Right.
from both sides.
Right. So whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. So do minus 10 to both sides. 10 minus 10 gives you 0, so that cancels out, which leaves you x on this side. And then you just equal 15 minus 10 is what? Rebecca?
5.
Correct. So now we have solved for our variable and x equals 5. So that's just a review from last week, we know that. So now moving on to example 2. Who can point out what is different from example 2 from example 1? Sarah Kate?
There's a coefficient instead of a constant.
Right. So in example 1, 10 and 15 are constants. And in example 2, 5y is a coefficient. And this is a coefficient because a number is connected to a variable. And our variable in this case is y, correct. So the 5 is being multiplied by the y. So if something is being multiplied, what must you do? Rebecca?
Divide it.
Yes, divide it by both sides.
Yeah.
Yes. So you divide 5 by 5, which gives you 1y on this side. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. So that gives you, anyone?
5.
Correct. So y equals 5. Now, that's the lesson from last week, so now we can go to two-step equations and combine these two terms. So, in example 3, we have 2x plus 4 equals 14. It's a lot of numbers combined together, so the first thing we're going to point out, what is our variable? X, right, and we want to get that alone. So remember, that's the first thing you always look for is your variable and what you want to get alone. And what is another thing that we see?
You have a coefficient and a constant.
Yes, you have a coefficient, a constant, and a constant. So, what do we notice?
You can subtract the 4.
Yes, because we have two constants, you want to combine like terms. So what we're going to do is, because of its addition, you subtract 4 from both sides, which gives you 10. 4 minus 4 gives you 0, so that cancels out. And then 10x equals 10. But we're still not done yet, because we have to get that x alone by itself. So what do we realize now?
Divide by 2 on both sides.
Right.
Get that by itself.
But why do we divide?
Because it's the inverse of
Yes,
multiplication.
because the 2 and the x are being multiplied. So that cancels out, 2 and 2 cancel out, which gives you x equals 5. So that is how you solve two-step equations. I created a little chant to help y'all with this. So repeat after me. Solving equations can be fun. Here are some ways how it's done.
Solving equations can be fun. Here are some ways how it's done.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get that variable on one side.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get that variable on one side.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is how you always begin.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This this is how you always begin.
Multiply, divide, subtract, or add.
Multiply, divide, subtract, or add.
Left side, right side, then your equation will be had.
Left side, right side, then your equation will be had.
Alright, that is it. I have some worksheets for y'all that y'all can do